Part of my ongoing effort is to help you understand the cause of your pain so that you then can do the work to fix it. Because if you don't understand the cause, very often you don't put forth the effort to fix it. And this is about how your core can help fix the disc. The bulging disc, the degenerated disc, the herniated disc, the stenosis from the disc, all the things that can happen to the spine can be helped by making sure that you're working on the core. And this comes down to the better you understand the cause, the more likely you are to do the work. And very often what we find is your core, there's a weak link. And the weak link allows for motion to the vertebrae that's going to aggravate the vertebrae. Some of it comes from sitting, some of it comes from bending wrong. It's our postural habits that we do throughout our daily lifetime that starts to aggravate the disc. So what do we know? In between the vertebrae is the disc. And that chronic, constant motion, whether it be the seated position, which we all do way too much, it's an epidemic actually, and or the bending motion, or all the activities that you do throughout the day, if you're doing them in a way that's going to aggravate the disc will get a little bit weaker. And as that happens, it starts to push out. And what we're going to talk about is how we can prevent that from happening so that it will start to go away. So we know that as that disc pushes out, it becomes very painful. And it usually is the result of you're doing an activity repetitively that is beyond your threshold. And that's part of what causes the weak link. And the question is, what part of the core needs to be worked on, or what part of the core is most important now, so that you can stabilize that and then improve all of the core. Because the stronger you are, the more likely you are not to have the problem. Because when the muscles are out of balance, meaning certain muscles are tight, certain muscles are strong, certain muscles are weak, it changes the shape of the load on the disc, or it changes the way the disc is loaded. So if you do an activity that requires a lot of bending in a certain position and you don't have the strength, then the vertebrae start to move. And we see it a lot with flexion, we see it a lot with extension, but it's also part of having problems with the lateral stabilizers as well. So the key is to know which exercises you need to do, but more importantly, making sure you're doing them, because what that'll do is it'll take that disc that's pushing out, and as you create balance, when I say balance, what I mean is all the muscles working the way they should, both from the erectors all the way around to the obliques, front to back, side to side. When that is in balance, when they're all doing the proper amount of work, what it does is it allows for that disc to slowly go back in. So what do we need to do? We need to prevent the forward, backward, the shearing force, the lateral bending, front to back, side to side, and the rotation. So I post this picture a lot, and I want you to understand what this is. So we talk about the armor, and the armor is for your spine. Now, you're not going to wear armor, but what it means is the muscles that control the lateral bending, the muscles that the side-to-side bending, the front-to-back, and the rotation bending, they all need to be doing equal work. They need to be in balance. And when they're in balance, that's when you can start to take the pressure off the disc. The erectors, the obliques, all the muscles that we've talked about, and even sometimes the trapezius muscle, latissimus muscle. So it's a combination of all these that puts things in balance. So you have to have good lateral, you have to have front to back and side to side and rotation, and you have to make sure those muscles are doing what they should be doing. When they are, that's when you can get that disc to move back. Because let's just say you have a weakness in your erectors, which are these muscles right here, and you're bending a lot, and these muscles don't have the ability to support you and hold the spine into a position that's avoiding the bending, then that disc will continue to get aggravated and push out. Now it's the same, meaning if these are weak, they're going to prevent that motion. If these are weak, it's not going to allow this motion to be functional. What that means is if it's weak, then you're going to overload the disc. If the erectors, extensors are weak, you're going to overload the disc. If the obliques are weak, you're going to overload the disc because you're going to move in ways that are not functional. They're not the best way to move. So part of working on the core and making sure the core is strong is you build the strength and you build the endurance. And as the muscles, front, back, side to side, as the muscles of the core, which are all the muscles here, as they start to get stronger, they will balance out the load on the disc. And when you balance out the load on the disc, everything goes back to normal. Okay? You're avoiding the activities and you're avoiding the motions that are causing the disc to push out. So by strengthening your core, you can solve the problem with your discs. By balancing the load symmetrically across the disc, front to back, side to side, and all the motions that the spine will move in, the disc will start to heal. That is the key to all this. So what do we say all the time? Move well and strengthen the muscles that help you to move well. That is why you have back pain, because you're not moving well and the muscles are not strong. They may be getting stronger, and as they get stronger, you will get to the point where your strength is beyond the capacity, meaning it's beyond the load. So if you have to perform an activity that requires a certain amount of strength and you don't have the strength, then you're going to have a problem. That's why we focus on the core, to make sure the muscles are strong. And as you get stronger, then your threshold goes up, meaning you can tolerate more activities. If you want to be a runner, if you want to be a dancer, if you want to do all the things that have higher threshold, then you need to continue to work on your core, because the core prevents the motion that you don't want. It prevents the abnormal movement patterns. That is the key. And you want to get to the point where you're so strong that you've got armor on, meaning that muscle is going to hold so tight you're not going to put yourself in the position that's going to aggravate the disc. That's the key. That's why when you strengthen your muscles in your core, your spine gets better, because it balances the load across the disc. If you continue to move in this direction and you don't have the strength here, there's nothing to do to prevent that. Okay, but as you strengthen this muscle, you're not going to have that abnormal motion pattern in the joint. And it's going to hold properly, and it's going to create symmetry on the disc. That's the key. Move well, create the stability, make sure you have the endurance in your core muscles to hold you for your activities, which is the increasing your load capacity or your tolerance. Make sure you have proper motion of the hips and shoulders, and create the functional strength in the hips and shoulders. That's the key. As you do that, the pain goes away and the discs start to heal. The exercises are about quality, not quantity, because we want to develop endurance. It's all about quality, not quantity, because you want to do it right. Get stronger. As you get stronger, the pain goes away. So pain relief is weakness leaving the body. What does that mean? It means as you're stronger, you can get better. That's how you fix your disc. Make sure your core is strong, and maybe 10 times stronger than it is now. It sounds unreasonable, but it just takes time. It just takes time. We have a program called 10X that's specifically designed to walk you through step by step to identify what muscles you need to work on. It took 30 years to develop this program. It's a step-by-step process where you get new videos every week. As you do that, you will start to get stronger, maintain stability in your core. That's the key. Sign up now. It's $47 a month. How many months does it take? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. I don't know. Depends how well you do the program and how much effort you put into making sure your muscles are strong. That's the key. That's the key. Click up here. There's going to be a button, logo over here. Go down to the description. There'll be a link to the video or to the page where you can sign up. That's the plan. That's the key. Get it done. Make it happen.